Speaking of line, that's our next consideration when it comes to lure casting for bream. And the first choice that we have to make is between braided main lines or monofilament or mono, which can be either fluorocarbon or nylon. And I got to tell you, I always have at least one reel in my arsenal spooled up with fine fluorocarbon line, but all the rest of them are full of skinny braid. I really like the advantages of braid, and those advantages are that it is so thin for its strength, and also that it has very little stretch, which means that it transmits the slightest bump from even a hesitant fish. My preferred lines are Kairiki and Power Pro, both from the Shimano stable, and I use 3, 4 or 6 pound breaking strains. But listen, take those rated breaking strains on the spool with a grain of salt, because the manufacturer can put just about any breaking strain they like on there, and I'm here to tell you that just about every braid on the market tests well over its rated breaking strain. So choose the finest braid that you can find. It'll cast better and it'll fish better, and you'll rarely break the braid. You've got to use a leader with braid. There are all sorts of great reasons why you shouldn't tie braid direct to your lure, and we'll go into that in another video. But just trust me, if you're going to use braid, you want to use a leader, and it's nearly always the leader that is going to break rather than the braid, unless you get up into really heavy leaders. So fine braid is definitely my choice of line when it comes to bream spinning. But like I said, I do have that one reel in my arsenal with the super skinny fluorocarbon on it, and there are times and situations when that'll catch your fish and just about nothing else will. So make sure you've got one outfit spooled up with fluorocarbon. And when it comes to leader material to use with your braided line, I absolutely love this stuff. Shimano's Oshia fluorocarbon. For bream fishing, I carry it in everything from 4 pound up to about 16 pound breaking strain. My go-to leaders for bream luring are normally 6 or 8 pound. I'll drop down to 4 in super clear conditions or when the fish are extra spooky, and I'll go up to 10, even 12 pound around really heavy structure. And I've even been known to put on a 16 pound leader and skid those bream out of an oyster lease when they're in between the racks. So it's really a matter of horses for courses. My typical leaders are about a rod length long to start with, but I will lengthen up. Again, if the water's clear and the fish are finicky, I'll go to 2, 3, even 4 rod lengths if necessary. But 1 rod length of this fluorocarbon is a really good starting point. Now, you don't have to use the Oshia fluorocarbon. There are plenty of other good brands out there as well. Just choose something that's nice and clear, comes from a good manufacturer, and something that you can trust. If you love catching bream on lures as much as I do, you won't want to miss part 2 of my free masterclass on this fascinating form of fishing. In it, I take a deep dive into the gear and the techniques needed to become a truly successful bream fisher. Click the link with this post or scan the QR code on the screen to check it out now. Tight lines.